Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into a list video of 6 whiskeys for the fall of 2022. But before we do that, please do me that favor, like, comment, subscribe. Helps us out a ton, and we seriously appreciate the support. But let's get into this list video, which is fall whiskeys for 2022. So this year, I have 6. There's a very turkey feeling about a third of this list, and, honestly, you're going to get that in a fall list because, well, fall is turkey season. You got Thanksgiving, you got leaves falling, it screams turkey, and turkey flavor profile just matches fall for some reason. When I think of fall, I start thinking about the time of the year where things start getting a little colder outside. You start staying in, you start drinking a little bit like warmer things like cocoa and hot coffee in the morning, because sometimes I go iced coffee in the summer. It is what it is. But I start thinking of like baking spices, spiciness, rye, higher proof because it's colder outside and you can handle that proof. So that means, fortunately, we're able to get into spicier whiskeys as well as some higher proof whiskeys with darker, denser, spicier flavor profiles, which is like my favorite freaking whiskeys. So without further ado, let's get right into this, starting off with what I alluded, the turkey. And like I said, there's 6 bottles, a third of these are turkey, so we're going to get right into the first 2, which are both turkey products. It is my bourbon, Russell's Reserve Single Barrels. These are fantastic. This is a step up above Rare Breed. Rare Breed's a little bit lighter, usually. A little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter. These are a little bit darker, more dense, a little bit older feeling than a lot of Rare Breed bottles I've had and a lot of these Russell Single Barrels. So that's why I think it fits really well, because it has that huge baking spice cinnamon, but there's also nice dense oak and there's a little bit more nuttiness in these bottles, but that kind of matches with fall. So my fall bourbon isn't Wild Turkey, it's Russell's, which, is also Wild Turkey. And then the other Wild Turkey bottle is going to be Wild Turkey Rare Breed. I love Wild Turkey Rare Breed. This bottle, Rare Breed Rye, is the quintessential fall whiskey for me. This rye isn't overly bright and shining and minty and herbaceous, which like those flavors kind of make me think about Christmas, like Christmas cookies, peppermint bark. Like this is baking spices, black pepper, still a little bit of sweetness. Like this is baking tarts. And because of those flavor profiles that I get off of this, that's why this is my quintessential fall pick. And honestly, if I could only pick one, it's going to be this bottle, because it's lights out fall all the way and has a fantastic peppery flavor profile, which is amazing. So freaking good. So we got those 2 turkeys right out the way. We can move on to the next 4 on this list and kind of get nitty and gritty with it. So coming up next, a bottle that doesn't show up on a lot of my lists because I don't particularly love the family flavor profile. Maker's Mark 46 cask strength. It could be 46 or the 46 cask strength. I just think the cask strength shines a little bit better in the fall environment because it's hotter. It's like 110, 110.3. I've seen some around like 109. Also, a pick would be an awesome substitute as well if it's a solid pick. So why did I pick this bottle? Despite not loving the Maker's Mark flavor profile, although I do like the 46 and a lot of the finished ones. The picks are pretty freaking awesome. But why did I pick this? Because this is like a bakery. This isn't inherently all those fall spices that I would like the spicy, peppery, like rye heavy notes. There's a little bit of like a cinnamony note in here, maybe some like clove if you really hunt for it. But this is the breadiest, like wheat heavy bready bourbons I have. This stuff matches really, really well with any sort of baking. Maker's Mark and baking just goes together. It was originally created by some guy. Like he found the creator of Maker's Mark, found his flavor profile by baking bread, not by making whiskey and trial and error. It's from baking bread. And this just shines really, really good in the whole bakery, baking spices type environment. Like this goes really, really good with any sort of fall treat. And like I said, I didn't expect myself to be putting Maker's 46 on this list because, again, I'm not the hugest Maker's Mark fanboy, but it just fits so well, I can't not put it. And then coming up right after that, another rye, a spicier one, but also kind of bready and earthy. Jack Daniel's Rye. This is Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye. I really like this bottle. This is their Jack Daniel's single barrel rye. It's not their single barrel barrel proof. It's just their normal single barrel. This stuff is 47% ABV. I love this for the fall time because like I go back into the whole rare breed rye, it's peppery. Honestly, the flavor profile of this is like if I took that rare breed rye and I mixed it with the Maker's 46 and then diluted it down to 47%. Because this is kind of the amalgamation of both of those kinds of bottles. It shares that super spicy, rye heavy notes that you're going to get off of the rare breed rye, that peppery note, so much heavy on the pepper, but then it's also very, very bready. This is an extremely bready rye, which makes me think, hey, this is a fall whiskey all the way. And that's why I picked it. I'm a huge fan of that. That one is so great during the day through a fall day where it's not like super cold yet. Fantastic, fantastic pour to have when you're hanging out with the family and whatnot. That's like I know it doesn't have a turkey on it, but that's a great Thanksgiving bottle. If out of all of these bottles on this list, if I had to choose one to take to Thanksgiving, it's going to be that Jack Daniel's single barrel rye. Because it's just so freaking good. And it's like an easy sip and proof because you need to watch out for those cask strength ones at Thanksgiving. And then up after that, Middle West Spirits Double Cask Collection Sherry Cask Bourbon. This stuff comes out around $100 and it's like 48% ABV and it's well worth the money. This is a 6-year-old double oaked sherry cask finish bourbon from Middle West Spirits. And it's amazing. You get a lot of fruity, kind of cranberry notes off of it. You also get some nice like dark chocolate, nutmeg spiciness. This is like a loaded like cake loaf. Like those, I don't know what that's called. It's more of like a kind of a Christmassy thing, but for some reason, fall, I just think of like baking stuff. And this is, it's like a loaded bread with a bunch of like fruits in it and like super heavy caramel on it. That's exactly what this is. This bottle is fantastic. It's expensive, so that's like an end of the night kind of bottle compared to say it's Thanksgiving. You start off with the Jack Daniels, you go into the Middle West Spirits like towards the end of the night, and then when you're just slammer hammered, you just, mix in the rest wherever you want. And then after that one, last one on this list, we got Double Duality Malt. ASW. This one is a malt, but it's not your traditional malt. This one is malted barley and rye. So you kind of share a lot of similarities with malt and also rye whiskey. It's like a spicy malt. So malt, you get a lot of like malty, roasty, kind of espresso, chocolatey, like solid mouthfeel notes. And then rye, you get a lot of spice, nutmeg, pepper, things of that nature. And these just marry the two together so freaking well. It's a roasty kind of peppery nutmeg explosion. And if you're going to get one, don't get the Black Label one because there's like a low proof one and there's a high proof one. Get that high proof one because it is freaking fantastic at high proof. I've yet to do a review of it. That one's on the chopping block because that is one of my favorite whiskeys I've had in 2022. I mean, the last two were some of my favorite whiskeys of 2022 that I had previously had before this year because those two are just phenomenal rock stars and we're finally getting into the time of the year where their flavor profiles excel and I'm freaking excited. But that's going to be my list of fall whiskeys. I know I'm kind of doing this one a little bit late or early depending on how you look at it. Winters are coming pretty soon, so we'll be having a winter list up very shortly, but those are my whiskeys for fall of 2022. I hope you guys like this list. I kind of tried to play into the flavor profiles a lot more instead of relying so much on turkey, even though turkey is very prominent in this. But that's going to be a wrap for this video. Please do me that favor, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys thought about my list. Also, what are some other good whiskeys for fall? I mean, there's a crap ton, and you can drink any whiskey any day of the year, any time of the year, whenever you want to. It's a free world. But these were my lists. What's your list? Let me know down below. Also, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. The links for all that stuff are down there below. That's a wrap for this video. Cheers. We'll see you later.